And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the extended break, but I promise you it was worth it. I did have some updates in the chat earlier, but we have our next series. It is going to be a TVP between Dolan and Creator. Creator did 2-0 Exo Striker and has advanced on in the bracket to face off against the Danger Dolan himself, against one of the CranKy Ducklings. Let's go. Let us go. You can hear the beeps. We're going to be loading into game number 1. Going to be taking place on Oceanborn. Of course, Creator is one of the many big Korean names in the bracket that did not make it through the Asia server qualifiers. Looking to make it through the European server qualifiers instead. And we'll see how this does turn out. We'll see if he can overcome the might of the Dolan. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the red Protoss player from the land of South Korea representing Club NV. It is Creator. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Terran, the blue Terran player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Dolan. Here we go. Again, Dolan, of course, just took down his own Protoss opponent, and there's nothing but Protoss remaining for him. I was looking at the bracket, and most likely it was going to be Creator and Nightmare thereafter as well. So there's a lot of Protoss on the horizon here for Dolan, and his TVP is going to be put to the test. His SCV did go the long way around, and we do have an eBay block here on the low ground, so a nice move already here from Dolan. He does avoid the probe scout. Meanwhile, Creator a little bit more concerned with looking for proxies, less so with checking his natural, and Creator should be forced to take the unnatural natural location. eBay is more than almost done at this point. Probe is going to be a little bit annoying here, trying to disrupt it, and do we pull out? Oh, we do pull out just in time. So plenty of progression on that eBay. The initial work has been pulled. We're going to be making a Zealot, and yeah, we have to at this point chrono out that Zealot. So Oceanborn is a very brutal map because it is a very short rush distance by ground. We have seen, especially in the early days of the patch and the early days of the new map pool, many Protoss players fall here and now to the follow-up factory. If you do get eBay block, it is so difficult to defend either one of these bases because of the short rush distance by ground and because of how exposed these bases are. Creator, instead of expanding, is going to be focusing down that eBay and going for a later expansion instead. He wants none of that factory shenanigans. He wants none of that cyclone shenanigans either. Meanwhile, Dolan's follow-up, I imagine, is going to be a 3 Rax. Only one gas has been taken, and there it is. There's the second Rax. We should be seeing a third Rax after this. I bring this up just because Dolan did do this previously. He did whip this out against his previous opponent, Ashbringer. So, again, it's going for a very similar playstyle. Makes a lot of sense. It was on this map as well. Not quite. It was on Alkione, if I remember correctly. It was on Alkione. But here we go. The first Zealot and the first Adept, they're moving out across the map. Looking to try and punish Dolan for what he's done, for his greed so far. Good sidestepping here out of Dolan. But the Zealot is gaining ground. The bunker going to finish up just in time. But the goal here is for the Adept to try to bypass this bunker, try to get on top of this SCV, and delay the CC. Oh, he wants the worker. Ooh. Doesn't quite commit. Behind this, we have our tech of choice. It is not going to be a Stargate. It is going to be a Twilight Council here from our Protoss player. Most likely a Blink-based opener. And looking at the vision, we do not get eyes on the follow-up. We don't see the second and third racks behind this, but Blink is going to be ideal against a 3 racks. You want to try to slow this down. You want to try and pick away at the Marine Army. So Creator reading this well. Reading this very well as we're getting into additional gateways. Now the question becomes, how many gateways, how committed are we going to be to these Blink Stalkers? We have one gateway in the main, we have one gateway here at the natural, Robo's on the way. Could just be a 2-gate opener into a third, very economic, or we could double down and go for a 3rd gate or even a 4th gateway, depending on how aggressive Creator wants to be. Adept is going to be threatening a shade. Going to be moving the hell out of there. Dolan, of course, just taking control of his bases, making sure he's safe and sound. Stim is on the way, combat shields as well. Again, this should be a stim timing from Dolan, but once he realizes that there are stalkers coming out, once he realizes the opener of his opponent, he may just back off. Typically, it would force a Marauder transition. But Dolan doesn't have a Reaper. Dolan isn't really aware of what's going on with the follow-up, and it is going to be a 2-gate opener. Very economic here out of Creator. A little bit greedy and potentially punishes. No! As Unep shades into the main base and we get eyes on everything. We see all 3 Raxes. Creator, he's aware. He's aware of what's going on. And is going to be preparing back at home. The Stalker count is amassing. We have 1 shield battery at the natural. We have a shield battery on the way. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just 2 shield batteries, sorry, at the natural. I was like, where's the second shield battery? 2 at the natural. Dolan is moving out. We'll see if we can maybe force a cancel on this 3rd base, but that's a lot of Stalkers. It's going to be a lot of Stalkers. Blink is a couple of seconds away from finishing. 5 seconds off. Push on forward. We get eyes on the Stalker army, and immediately Dolan backs off. He retreats. Well, using the tall grass to his advantage, though. Doesn't quite pick up any of those Stalkers. Does pull back. Of course, Observer was available, and yeah, from here, Dolan has to back off, has to retreat, has to transition. As I mentioned before, Dolan wasn't aware if it was going to be a Twilight Council or a Stargate, so he didn't really know what he was running into. And Stalkers are exactly what you want in this scenario. So a pretty good start here from Creator. Good start overall. He deflects the army, he gets his 3rd. He's trying to force out another stim. Dolan, though, being very patient. Does not use it. Not yet behind this. We're getting to our add-on swap. Working towards medevacs, and Dolan is going to be working on that next step. Scans the natural base, gets eyes on the safety immortal. Charges on the way. A big gateway explosion. Creator. Not just going to be working with Blink Stalkers, but Charge Lots as well. And even Dark Templar. Meanwhile, Dolan is not all in. He's going for a 3rd TC. He is looking to macro out of this. But again, observers all throughout the map. They do catch the army. Do forget oh my god, we do go for the scan. Nice moves there from Dolan. He's aware of medevacs, they have arrived. And now we can stim a little bit more freely. Oh, as I say that, Marines are getting picked off though. Oh, that's 6 Marines. But 0 Stalkers. Good blinks out of Creator, doesn't lose anything. Gonna try and dive on the army, but with the Immortal, with sentries, waiting for force fields, Dolan, he cannot commit. He was trying to bait out a force field, but Creator, again, very mature, very patient with his own sentry energy. Doesn't get baited. We have 2 shield batteries in position, and now we're moving out with the Prism. Now, Dolan, as he tops up his army, he could still try to dive on this. The army itself is looking quite small, especially with many of those Zealots getting across the map. Stalkers are actually split between the bases. We can blink to the low ground, though. As we scan the 3rd, we see how vulnerable the position is. We go for the stim. For a shield battery is going to be going down. We dive on the army as well. Overcharge is popped, but we can get on top of the Immortal. And here come those Stalkers. To dive from the high ground. Meanwhile, Zealots are warping into the main. The DT, do we have a scan? Oh, do we have a scan? I don't think we do notice. As we try to power through the shield battery, power through the overcharge probes, they are going down. SCVs as well across the map. And do we have a scan? We do. Dark Templar goes down, but in a base trade, Dark Templar, they're going to do so well here for Creator. As we have broken the 3rd base, but back across the map, every SCV is going down. Ay, ay, ay. Workers are falling. We go for the scan. We're going to be able to focus down the Robo at least. But Dolan, he's running out of steam. He's running out of workers, running out of an economy. And soon running out of scans. That's the problem here. We can send in 1 Dark Templar at a time. We're going for the Dark Shrine, though. What you see is what you get. Only 3 Dark Templar. Going to be depowering these gateways, getting into the main. Oh, base is going to be lifted. Going for another scan. Does take down another Dark Templar. We have 2 DTs left. 1 across the map, 1 back at home. Dolan, he does have a pretty comparable army. We're recalling back home. That's a lot of Zealots. That is a lot of Zealots, and Dolan, can he fight this? Another, do we have a scan? Do we have a scan, Bobby? The Widowman's going to try to borrow. One goes down. We have a second Dark Templar. Only one Widowmine left. Dolan down to 8 SCVs. Down to his last here. Mine Shot's going to be going off. Big connection. Dolan's trying to focus on as many of these workers as he can, but he's running out of steam. He's running out of juice. Another medevac falls. And back at home, there's barely anything left. The CC, it's burning. No, the SCVs, the final workers. Dolan gonna save that third CC, but he's down to what, 6 SCVs remaining. Creator has an economy. Dolan doesn't. Do we have a scan? We do. We miss. Oh no, we missed the Dark Templar. Don't like this. And it looks like Creator has held. GG gets called. Creator will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Did go down to the wire a little bit there. Did go down to the base trade, but honestly, those Dark Templar were so annoying to deal with. It was definitely just, yeah, a massive boon that Dolan had to overcome, and yeah, really solid decision there from Creator. Really solid play to have the Dark Templar in that scenario, and yeah, GG. Even, to be fair, even without the Dark Templar, it's very possible that we would have seen the same outcome. The base trade was something that Dolan wasn't ready for, and again, even without the Dark Templar, the Zealots across the map, they were getting so much done. They were wreaking havoc, and Creator, he does take the first game. Does take a lead in the series, but we'll see how things will change as we get ready for game number 2. Here we go. Right, thanks for working hard to cast games for us. Thanks for staying up late and waking up early to do this. Much appreciated. Oh, thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you, Mito. Thank you. Thank you. It's what is sleep? What even is sleep? No sleep here. No sleep. To be fair, in between casts, because we covered the Hatchery Cup earlier, and this is our second broadcast of the day, I did nap for 2 hours. I did manage to get a couple of hours of sleep in between broadcasts, but here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Club NV. It is Creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran, representing the CranKy Ducklings, down in the series, but not out. Looking to tie it up, it is Dolan. He's up against the wall, and what are we going to be bringing to the table here on Hecate? Where are we going to be taking us? Where do we go? Again, Dolan known for his aggression, but so far tonight we've been seeing some pretty straight up play. Even against Ashbringer earlier, Dolan, he was expanding, he was taking a third base. You can see Creator, he's checking for proxies, at least at the linear third location. Creator just being safe here. But yeah, Dolan has been looking pretty normal, which is not something I'm used to seeing. Pretty straight up play overall. Aggressive as well, don't get me wrong, but not cheesy. As he does go for a full wall off here on top of the ramp, keeping his opponent in the dark. Walling off that main base, and as we get into game number 2, a big shout out to Meme50. I'm assuming it's Meme. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for subscribing for the first time with a tier 1 sub. Gracias, papi, gracias. Hope you've been enjoying the stream. Hope you've been enjoying the broadcast here. Again, second broadcast of the day. If you're a fan of the CranKy Ducklings, you know, we're live every day, every single day, with plenty of StarCraft. And we should be back tomorrow as well with the finale of the European server qualifiers. Today is the open qualifier for Europe, and tomorrow is the closed qualifier. Basically, the top 8 players from this server qualifier make it to tomorrow, and tomorrow they're going to be going up against the invited seeded players from the EPT circuit. So players like Rainer, Showtime, Clem, Alazer, Lambo, Skillis, to name a few. So the big names from Europe, they're waiting, biding their time, and they're going to be featured on this channel tomorrow. So look forward to it. But here we're determining who faces off against them in tomorrow's closed qualifier. For now, we are going for, once again, a Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council is thrown down here on the low ground. Dolan is in the dark. No, sorry, my apologies. Did scout. Did see the tech. Is aware. Going to be dipping in, though, getting confirmation. Does click on that Twilight Council. As he does dive into the main. Barely avoiding those adepts. Does get one probe. Does get one worker for his troubles. The creator should be able to zone out. Oh, the Reaper for the most part. As Dolan's going to try to escape, try to slip out of the main base. A couple of hits are going to be coming in. Oof. Yeah, we have an adept waiting on the low ground, and the Reaper will fall behind this. How many gateways? 2 for the time being. Back at home, Dolan is expanding. He is not going all in. He does have a factory as well, a very early factory, so this is going to be a big 2-base push. We saw this in game number 2. Game 2? Sorry, game 1. Game 1 of Dolan versus Ashbringer, where Dolan, he's getting to really fast tank production into a 2nd and 3rd racks. We are delaying the starport, and we're building up a massive, a hefty marine and tank army, and we're soon going to be pushing out. Dolan did this against Exo Striker on Oceanborn, if I remember correctly. Did whip it out on Oceanborn. And again, this kind of hit like a truck. Sorry, not Oceanborn, the other map. Alkion, that's it. No, yeah, Oceanborn, that's it. Sorry, I'm mixing up the maps. But yeah, regardless, this is going to be quite brutal when it does arrive across the map, and it's going to be on Creator to recognize what's going on. Once he does realize how committed this is, then we should be preparing with shield batteries, charge, or, again, just amassing a gateway army. We saw that Ashbringer, he was able to confirm this with a hallucination scout, but Creator is doing nothing of the sort. He's taking a 3rd base. Very economic opener. 3-gate opener in towards that 3rd. So with a 3-gate Blink Stalker build, you do have enough Stalkers to actually gain map control and to apply pressure across the map, but we can see that Creator, he's more concerned with defending against drop play, like Widowmine drops or Raven harass. Now he's going to be moving out, but for the time being, he's still in the dark. This Observer has a lot of scouting to do, and it will. The Observer is going to dip on forward, get into the natural. We have 3 tanks, we have a 4th tank on the way. Creator, he does rotate around, slips into the main base, and he should get eyes on all the production. Sees the tank already. And, he barely does catch a glimpse of the move out. The Observer barely escapes. Does float away, and the boys are being pulled. Again, Dolan, he knows that the Observer is out of position, does not see the boys being pulled, and we're going for a 2-base all-in. It's all or nothing for Dolan. Stalkers are moving out. They do spot the SCVs. They catch a couple of reinforcements, so they force the army back. Again, there are no medevacs with this. There's every single stim counts. Oh, Dolan, he's being forced back. Will save his tank, though. Creator buying so much time back at home. What do we have to work with? Good target firing out of Dolan. Focusing down 1 Stalker, 1 Adept, and even getting a 2nd Stalker. Every unit counts right now. This army is most likely going to recall back home, but that is that much less to work with. And here we go. Dolan is pushing in. Zealots are being warped in. We do have charge. Immortals are on the way, but there's only a single shield battery, a single overcharge, and we're diving on top of the army. SCVs are being cleaned up. That overcharge putting in a lot of work. But we pull back to the tanks, and with 4 tanks, that is just so much firepower. And we're focusing down the Immortal. And it looks like Dolan has too much. He breaks through the army. There's nothing left here. There's 3 Stalkers being warped in. But we ignore the 3rd base. We have to go for the kill. We have to go for the natural. The tank. Oh, 1 tank goes down. Big pickup. Creator going for another warp in. The boys are being pulled. We don't have too many Marines. We are down to 3 Marines left. 3 Marauders. Dolan, can he pull this off? More reinforcements though, more warp-ins. There are just too many Zealots. It looks like Creator, he may have lost his 1st army, but he has plenty to work with. He shuts down the tanks, and Creator, he's going to get on top of this army. He's going to completely shut this down. There was so much potential. Dolan, he almost pulled this off. He almost had enough. But we're down to a single tank. GG gets called, and Creator will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Oh. GG, well played. Creator does take it in the end, and that was close, not gonna lie. I do feel like potentially when Dolan was attacking the third base, if Dolan had shut down the overcharge a little bit faster, it would have been a little bit easier to work through the rest of the army. I do think maybe he overextended a little bit with his Marines, and he did bleed out a bit much. But that was still so close. He was almost able to break Creator then and there. Regardless, GG, well played. Creator will advance on. Dolan is going to be eliminated from the qualifier. And we have some catching up to do. As we do refresh that bracket, !B in the chat to get a link to the bracket yourselves. And we're just going to be hopping over to the European server, and we're going to try to catch up on everything that has been going on.